Hey Anthony,
What's up, Matt?
how many games do you think you've played? Like, ever?
4, 5...
No, too many to count, I don't know. Well, I was curious. Do you recommend any of them? You know, if somebody were to ask you.
You mean like one of those top 10 YouTube videos you see all the time?
Well, I don't know about 10.
How about 11?
Let's do it!
Number 11, Rocket League. This game is soccer with RC cars. With two teams competing to score the most goals, each player combines steering, jumping, and nitrous boosts to outplay the opposing team. This game doesn't take much understanding to watch and enjoy. I've had friends share in my victory dances and belittle me when I mess up. Thanks, Dad.
Number 10, Vanquish. This is the spiritual successor to Shinji Mikami's Resident Evil 4. This quirky parody of the Western shooter genre features the US Marines fighting Russian robots in space.
This is starting to sound like a bad video game.
This game's mechanics and speed allow for a fun and fast-paced shooter. Once you master it, you will feel like a well-oiled wingman. Its initial release was in direct competition with Fallout 3. Luckily, it has a very solid port to Steam now.
Number 9, Super Mario Sunshine. I'm sorry, Mario 64, but Sunshine won me over with its tropical flavor and the added water-spurting device. Upon Mario's arrival to Isle Delfino, in the hopes of relaxing from his stressful star gathering, he is quickly blamed for an insane amount of graffiti and pollution, immediately sentenced to servitude. And this time, instead of stars, there are shine sprites. Everything that 64 did right, this game adds to and improves. Those same sweet moves are enhanced with the added water device that lets you jetpack, rocket jump, and turbo boost. There are even some levels designed to test your real Mario prowess. Nice work, Nintendo.
How the hell is he blamed for the graffiti if he just arrived on the plane? And wouldn't chasing Shadow Mario prove his innocence?
Number 8.
Street Fighter II. This is my favorite fighting game. We wouldn't have Street Fighter V or Marvel vs. Capcom without this. The learning curve is steep, but the payoff is worth it. Each character has a unique personality, like Blanca, the green electric Brazilian, and Zangief, the superhero of the USSR. And of course, who could forget? Sure you can.
Number 7, Super Smash Bros. 64. This is my favorite fighting game. With original Nintendo characters, you can finally live out your dream of Mario throwing a fireball at Jigglypuff, or taking Ness's baseball bat to Luigi's skull. To increase the insanity, you can turn on bob-ombs and laser swords. My college friends and I used to ignore homework to play this game. Take that, physics.
Number 6. Mega Man. It was too hard for me to choose one.
They're all the same.
Well, you're not wrong. Stage design is brutal but fun. Everything has a purpose and bosses are varied and match the theme of their stage. Electman's level made me cry as a kid, but that didn't stop me. The difficulty makes you want to pull your hair out. Then, when there's no more hair to pull, you Mega Man up and become the hero you were meant to be.
Number 5, Hyper Light Drifter. This is the game that sparked my interest in how games are designed and programmed. The themes of the game are heavy.
For me, a little too heavy at times.
Well, this game does reflect the creator's struggle with a serious heart condition. Like a lot of modern games, this has a Dark Souls feel to it, but it stands out with its gorgeous pixel art and a story that is communicated only through limited visual representation. The challenge is real, the bosses are difficult, and the game is rewarding.
Number 4. Castlevania Symphony of the Night and Castlevania Rondo of Blood. These two games take place around the same time period and make a full story arc, so I wanted to cover both of them. Who cares? It's our video! Rondo of Blood has that classic Castlevania gameplay, with branching paths leading to different bosses. There are secrets that lead to a true ending and a game-breaking character to unlock. Pro tip: pressing forward at the end of the attack animation will cause whip extension, which sounds like a sports injury, but is actually an amazing advantage. Also, you play as Richter, the best Belmont, who has Item Crush, allowing you to turn regular sub-weapons into a small apocalypse. Who else can backflip in the Belmont family? Symphony of the Night was the first Metroidvania in the series. It makes Dracula's castle a 2D explorable world. Alucard has an excessive amount of weapons and items. You probably won't even see all of them with just one playthrough. To play both in one package, I'd recommend the PSP port, Castlevania: The Dracula X Chronicles.
Number 3, Portal 2. The first Portal game was amazing. In the sequel, the mechanics are expanded, adding co-op, fresh puzzles, and J.K. Simmons as the voice of Cave Johnson.
I'm Cave Johnson. I own the place.
The quirky feel of the series remains intact, while adding new characters and narration. Different goops allow for faster running, higher jumping, and more. I'm a guy, so I already know how goop might be useful, and in some cases, it can be used to break the game.
Number 2. Final Fantasy VI. Being the last Final Fantasy on the SNES, this game is polished and beautiful. There's a ton of characters. There isn't even a main character, meaning you are invested in developing all of them. You will lead a team of heroes, each with their own broken dreams. You get a monk who can suplex a train, his brother who chainsaws people in half, and a ninja whose dog counters for you. What else could you want from this game? You get that and more. There are many broken combinations of moves to experiment with, some of them which can literally break the game, physically, which is amazing, but don't do it.
Number 1. What can be said about the Double D? The Darkest D. The Darkest Dungeon? Well, that is the game that we both recommend.
Darkest Dungeon is a perfect exercise in RNG strategy, reminiscent of Fire Emblem. Character positioning, permadeath, and turnabouts make this game an incredible challenge. You will want to succeed, but you can't always get what you want.
But if you try sometimes, you might find
This game kicks your ass!
there are an insane number of strategies and team combinations. Sometimes, Anthony and I will just sit and talk about different teams and unique trinket builds, and daydream about a successful run in a dungeon.
I've discussed strats for hours, like my debuff team, which ended up failing.
Or my food stamp team, which was moderately successful.
The whole game feels like poker, where you think you will succeed, you will sometimes fail horribly, and other times, when things are at their most dire, you will arise victoriously, and maybe with only one person left.
Playing the game will make you care for some of the characters on your team more than others. You will learn to appreciate their positive traits, or even learn to live with their negative quirks.
I had a Houndmaster with locked-in speed abilities that made him the fastest character on my roster, and sure enough, he died to a crossboner, and I was totally bummed. I was curious how he could have died with all the speed and no negative quirks. And when I checked his corpse, I was surprised to find a new and only negative quirk of slow reflexes. It turned out he wasn't as fast as I thought he was.
Hey guys, do any of these games seem interesting to you now?
If you have any recommendations, please list in the comments section below.
Again, thanks for watching,
Please like and subscribe to our channel.
and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nice.
Bam.
Be like, sorry guys, it wasn't really plugged in.
Yeah.
I was lying about this. It's some behind the scenes movie magic. See, these weren't actually plugged in at all. We were just doing a gag on you.
Gagged you. Wait.